Hi, I'm Crystal. I'm glad you're here today. I just want to start by reminding you of the informed consent that I sent over. I just want to make sure that you got that and you're able to read through it and that you understand everything and that you signed it and everything's good on that. Yeah?
Yep, I signed it and it should be good. I didn't have any questions. I think I understood everything.
Okay, awesome. Because the confidentiality, this is a safe place for you to speak about your thoughts and everything, but if there's a safety concern, like someone being at risk for harm, that's the only time that I would have to say something. So as long as you are acknowledging that you got the forms and that you signed them and that you understood
Mhm.
and everything, and you can always ask a question about it at any time, all right? Just so you know, if you have a question, please don't be afraid to ask me anything about that, all right?
Okay.
Awesome. I'm here to support you, and I'd like to spend some time today getting to know you better and hearing what's been on your mind. So, how are you feeling coming into this session right now? How's it going?
Um, it's going all right. Just just have a lot of stress going on. I just, moved to college. I have, cross country that I have to be running, and it's kind of overwhelming. My workload in college so far, and I guess that's my main reason why I wanted to come and talk. Uh, kind of having problems like adjusting, and I think that stems from like the workload of things. Um, we have 8 a.m. practice for cross country where we have to go and lift in the weight room, and then we have after that, I have to make sure I eat for the day, or else I'm probably going to be in a bad mood and no energy. Then classes probably like from I don't know, from like 8 a.m. until like 3 o'clock, which is a long time, and I have to figure out how to fit lunch in there, and then um, after once I get out at 3 o'clock, I have about an hour of downtime, and then I have to get ready for cross country practice, where we go and run indoor workouts, and then I have to fit in dinner after that, and if anything's bothering me, go to the recovery room and you know hit the ice bath or work out some sore muscles, stuff like that, and which means I really don't get back to my room until like 7 o'clock if I'm lucky. And by that point, I'm just like dog tired, and I don't have any motivation or energy. I think I think maybe not as much motivate. Well, I mean, it can kind of be motivation, but I just don't have like that drive to do what needs to be done for classes at that point, because I've already gone through a full day of classes. I've gone through, two practices, tried to take care of my body as best as I can, and then it just becomes so late in the day that I'm tired and I don't have time. It feels like I don't have time or energy or drive to do homework or study. And that's, I feel like, not what should be on the back burner at this point. But at the end of the day, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm. That sounds like you have just a lot going on and to think about and to do. So yeah, the energy, your motivation, that sounds like a lot that you have to take care of and keep place of everything. I'd really like to help you with that. In order to help you with that, I'd just like to get to know you better, a little more. So I'm going to ask you some questions, if that's okay with you. And it's
Mm-hmm.
just going to help me understand you more about, where you're coming from, how we got here, who you are, and then we can go into more things if that's all right with you.
Yeah.
So, the first one I want to start off with is I just want to get to know you a little better spiritually and your religion. Do you have any spiritual beliefs or religious beliefs that you would like me to know about?
Um, I was raised as a Christian, but I wouldn't say that I'm like active in the church or actively practice Christianity.
Mm-hmm. So you just kind of grew up with it then, so you just kind of like know about it.
Yeah.
Tell me more like about your how it.
Well, I think it was more like my mom kind of thing. She just wanted me to. She's a big Christian, and I feel like I didn't have that choice in the beginning on what I wanted necessarily, uh, and so I, I grew up Christian, and now that I'm kind of off on my own, I don't really practice it. Just because there's so many things out there that I don't think people are typically wrong in their beliefs. Like, there's it's just it's just there's so many things out there I don't know what to believe, and I feel like as my education goes further, it's um the more I like question things, and so that's why I would say I'm not actively practicing Christianity.
Mhm. All right, thank you for sharing that with me. I understand a little bit better. Thank you. What about um, any financial stress at the moment, or any resources like that that you're struggling with?
Yeah. Well, I am a college student, so I'm a struggling college student. But my life could always be worse. I have scholarships for running, so that's not bad, and my parents support me as much as they can. So I mean, not great, but could be worse.
That's awesome. You said you have some scholarships.
Mhm.
That's awesome. The next question, if you feel comfortable, you could you talk about your sexual identity for a moment, if you're comfortable with me?
Yeah, yeah. I would say that I'm a straight white cis male. Um, it, Is there anything else I should include with that? I can't. I'm not really sure. I haven't been asked that too often.
It's okay. It's whatever you want to include. Like I said, it's just to get to know you better. So that was good. Thank you.
Okay.
So you said you're going, through a lot right now. You're in college. You're a, as you said, classic college student. And you have scholarships for, you said, cross country.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cross country and track. I guess I should
Oh,
include track
both.
there.
Both.
I do that in the spring.
Okay. Awesome. Is that something that you enjoy then?
Yeah, I enjoy running. It's what I'm good at, and it helps me get away from like the reality of things. So I like that, and I like the competitiveness of it, and I like sports in general, and it just happens that running's the one I'm good at.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, let's talk a little bit more about that because it sounds like you like to do that. You like to run and do that. Is there anything else that helps in hard times?
Um, yeah. I'm a part of like on top of everything else that I have on my plate, I'm a part of a fraternity, and um, there's just I have a lot of brothers in there, and it whenever I'm feeling like stressed, overwhelmed, like not feeling 100%, there are often people that I can go to, and they help me with what I'm dealing with, help me cope with things, are there for me to talk to about things, and so they really do they really do a lot for me in my life, I would say, and I appreciate them being there.
Hmm. So I hear you talking about your brothers, like a fraternity.
Hmm.
Um, what's your living situation then? Do you live with them like in a dorm room, or like tell me a little bit more about your living situation?
So there is the fraternity house that we have on campus, but I chose not to live there just because I thought it would be a little too hectic for me. um as far as things like I and if you live in the house, you live with 15 guys, and then your RA, and it's just a lot to deal with. Messy kitchen, or other you have to deal with other people's messes or people coming in and out of the house, and that's not something I really wanted to deal with. Because as I was saying earlier, like I already have that busy schedule, and I'm already worried about things, and so I chose not to live in the house because that would just be way too much for me. So I live in a dorm with one of my brothers that also chose not to live in the house.
Okay, okay. So it sounds like there's still a support system for you, would you say?
Oh yeah, I can stop by in the house anytime I want. I mean, there is a study room upstairs, but I who goes to a study room in the fraternity? Um, but yeah, there's still that support system. I The door's always open. I can drop in there whenever I want, and there's a pool table there, so we can go and we can socialize or whatever I need. They're there, and the door's open.
Hmm. What about anybody else in your support system, would you say? Who else would you put in there? So we've got
Mhm.
your brothers from your fraternity. Who else would you classify who's in your support system right now?
Hmm, that's a good question. Um, I would say my coach. My coach is he coaches me for both cross country and track. Same head coach, but he would be in my support system. I mean, he always checks in on me, make sure I'm doing all right. Um, I would say I have this professor for one of my psychology classes, and he I recognize that he doesn't have to, he could be the stereotypical professor and just come teach class and the relationship ends there. But he makes sure to check in on me because my advisor's like, it's not in my major, it's in he's just an advisor. So he makes sure to check in, like make sure I'm on the right track, and make sure that everything's going all right. So I would put him in my support network, and then probably my parents. As I said, they support me financially as best as they can, and they also support me emotionally as best as they can. Um, so we have a pretty good relationship. I talk to them probably at least once I try to talk to them at least once a week, and they come to most of my sporting events, so I'll see them there too in person, and they'll take me out to dinner after and such. So, um, but other than that, I would say those are the main. My brothers, my professor, my coach, and my parents. Though that would be my main support network right now.
Hmm. Okay. So we've got, sounds like just a ton of support at school, especially surrounding the activities that you like to do. Track, cross
Mm-hmm.
country, running. It sounds like you like to do a lot of physical activity. Too, you said that you were into sports, like in general, correct?
Yeah, yeah. So, I like playing like tennis. That's probably one of my favorite sports. Just because like it's fun. Like I don't have a ton invested into it, so it's not so serious when I play. But I mean, I'm still an athlete, so it's like I'm still competitive about it. But I don't take like losing. If I lose to someone in tennis, it's like I don't take it to heart because it's not that serious. I don't play tennis, but I do enjoy it a lot. So I think like that zero investment in it, and our fraternity, they have there's a league. It's called like a interfraternal sports league is pretty much what it's like. And it's like all the fraternities we'll have like different seasons for sports. Like we'll have like indoor soccer or basketball, um, volleyball, those kinds of things. And it's it's kind of it's laughable almost because it's a bunch of dudes just uh, being what they are. It's like I would explain it as, almost as like a pissing competition between a couple fraternities and seeing who's the best at what. And so yeah. I There's a lot of sports out there that I enjoy and like to do. And
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it sounds like you're, very active in your little support system and very into the things that you do, and you have a lot of people surrounding you. It just sounds like you're very busy.
yeah, I'm busy all the time. I mean, on top of things I didn't mention, like, I have all those people that are supporting me, and I also want to support them because, they're there for me. So I feel obligated to be there for them as much as I can. So I often spend maybe too much time at the fraternity, just to be there, because I didn't live in the house. I don't live in the house, so I feel like I have to go show face, in order for them to feel like I'm not just like abandoning all of them, and you know, as if like I'm still an active part of the fraternity. So I do have to go over there. I feel obligated to go over there a lot, and give my support for the people in it and the fraternity itself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you mentioned earlier at the beginning of our session that you had a lot of, or huge workload of things, I think is the word that you used. So, and now that you're talking about, this fraternity and your support system, how would you just elaborate that a little more for me? What about your workload? What's going on?
Yeah, so it's just like my classes. I can't, and it's probably my own fault. Like I feel like I'm putting. I said it in the beginning. Like I feel like I'm putting them on the back burner, and that's not how it should be. But there's like so many important things in my life. Um, my brothers, my support network of people, and keeping my scholarship for running, because that helps me afford college, afford being here at college. So it just it's hard to prioritize school, um, but it definitely gets put on the back burner, and it shouldn't be that way. And right now, it just feels like I'm in the heat of everything. Like these are the classes that I'm taking right now, or the like. How would I explain it? Like the epitone, like the major classes in my studies. They're like the ones that are supposed to be hard, the ones that are supposed to take a lot of time, and it's just overwhelming right now, the amount of work for class that I have to do. And I've never really experienced this. Like I've always been the guy that could do everything. My friends have joked around. They're like, "Oh, you can do everything and you're good at everything. Like you're Superman." But I'm not. I'm not Superman, and I'm definitely feeling that right now. Like it's been a lot. Like in high school, I got good grades and stuff, but I didn't study for it. I just kind of paid attention in class, and once I was done with class, I didn't really do anything extra for it. And um, like I said, I got good grades, so it wasn't a problem. But now it feels like I have to do so much more for class, and it's not as easy as it once was.
Yeah, for sure. College is hard. Sounds like you're getting into your core classes. Like you have to go over the material that actually feels like it pertains to the degree that you've been getting. What are you going to school for? What are you studying?
So I'm studying psychology right now. Um, yeah, and that's like the other thing. In the beginning, I messed up with my major. Um, Everyone told me in my life not to go for psychology just because it was like a dead end route, and I was gonna have to do so much work to in order to be where I wanted to be. So originally, I went for well, yeah, I would have to do like so much work to be where I wanted to be, but the pay would never match how much I had to put in. And so Um, a lot of people push me to do physical therapy. Um, and, I thought maybe that would be something I enjoyed. And then I started school, um, and I didn't really enjoy the physical therapy route. So I switched back to I switched back to psychology, knowing that ultimately that was what was going to make me happy um, in life and with my job. So that's kind of maybe that was a little bit more than you wanted, but that's how I kind of ended up in the psychology degree route.
Yeah, no, that's fine. You can totally go ahead and, explain and talk about whatever you want, what comes to mind, because I was wondering, what you were studying, and at the end of the day, too, go ahead and follow what you want to do. If you want to study psychology, that's what you should do. You should do, what you're passionate about. So, do you like what you're studying? Are you passionate about it? How do you feel about where you are currently? I know you said that it was a workload in these core classes. Sounds like you have to learn how to study and prioritize. But other than that, do you like what you're studying and what you're learning?
Yeah, I would say I enjoy it a lot. Like, we do like rat labs where we're kind of working with rats and getting them to do like certain objectives and stuff like that. Um, we're learning so a lot. We're learning a lot, and we have projects that we have to do, and the projects are fun. It's just it's just so like no complaints with the classes. Like I enjoy them. I'm engaged when I'm there. It's just engaging afterwards. So I mean, as far as like how I feel about where I'm at in the classes, when I'm there and when I'm present, like I feel good. I'm there and present in the class, and don't feel behind. But when I'm not, when everything's all said and done at the end of the day, like I'm just exhausted and I I mean then I feel behind because I know that there's stuff I should be doing and I'm not doing it, and it's just hard to do with as much as I have.
Mm-hmm. So it sounds like you just have, like a lot on your plate, a lot scheduled, a lot of activities, a lot of homework, kind of like you have to put yourself in all these different places. Would you agree with that? Is that kind of like how you're feeling? Spread thin, maybe? Tell me more about, I guess,
Yeah,
what you're
I
feeling like that?
yeah, I guess yeah, I feel spread thin. Like I said earlier, like people used to joke around and call me Superman. I'm really not. Like I'm just I just try to, how do I want to put this? I try to be the best I can when I can be, and it's I got to realize, I guess, at some point that I can't always be mm, I can't always be like that my that I guess what I'm trying to say is like maybe I need to redefine my definition of best, because like I still give my best at everything I do. It's not like I'm purposely trying to bomb classes or anything like that, but I give my best in the moment and I'm satisfied with what I do at the end. Um, so there is that, and I hate to complain about it and stuff, but it's tough. All of it's tough. That's not. I guess. I guess that's not like the definition of a man. Like you're not supposed to, talk about your problems or express that stuff like stereotypical in it. Like it's a lot of pressure. I don't know. So I feel I feel guilty sometimes, or not guilty, but like I feel like less of a man. Um, talking about how I'm, you know, talking like we are now, like the stress that I have, and that there is a fault to me, I guess. Um, and it's just it's weird. It's weird. This is a weird time for me in my life.
Yeah, I'm hearing um some struggle, but I just want to let you know this is a safe place. Um, so I want you to be able to go ahead and talk about things that you're feeling, just like as they come up. So like I'm hearing a lot about conflicting feelings about what it means to be a man, and you said guilty. So I want to know a little bit more about what you mean when you say that. What it means, because I'm hearing
Um,
conflicting feelings about what it means to be a man. So if you wouldn't mind just explaining that, what you're thinking when you say that.
yeah, I guess what I mean is um like when you're I mean this this might be hard for you to relate to. I don't know how to explain it. It's like when you're a man, you're not supposed to you're supposed to put on the strong front. Like you're not supposed to show that you have any weak points. You're supposed to be, you know, someone reliable, and you're supposed to be tough and strong, and you know, um, you're supposed to get things done. You're supposed to be nose to the grindstone, and it's I mean, it's hard to be that way. Like it's a lot. And I, I guess that would be like my how I would explain what it's like. That stereotypical man, and um, it's hard to like break that norm. Like it was tough for me to come in today and you know explain that there are that I'm not, you know, as tough as people would like to think. It's hard to, you know, admit that there are things that I'm not good at necessarily, or that I can't do, or if I'm, you know, that I'm feeling overwhelmed about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that definitely is something just that's tough to talk about. I think you hit it pretty well on. So I just thank you again for being here and taking that initiative to come break that cycle and come talk about it. It really does take a lot. I know it's can be overwhelming too to talk about things that you're dealing with. Um, so what is it exactly that you would want to change? What's your perfect ideal here? What are you looking for?
Yeah, so I guess in a perfect world, I'd be able to do it all. You know, I would be able to, you know, do my studies and, you know, keep up in classes and, you know, be able to do my sports and be, you know, perfectly good at it, and just, you know, typically fit everything in one day that I'm supposed to fit in, you know, showing face at my fraternity, you know, being there for them, uh, being in my classes and being present and like attentive, and you know, being the best teammate, you know, on my sports teams that I can be, and you know, just doing it all. But the reality of that is doesn't seem feasible necessarily anymore. So I'm not. Mm, I'm not sure, but that's what a perfect day or perfect, you know, outcome would look like to me, is being finding a way to just be able to do it all.
So sounds like finding a day where you have enough hours in the day and enough energy to do everything you could possibly imagine or want.
Yeah, and it's not like you just add more hours to the day. Like a day is 24 hours, so I mean, it's just I don't know. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm. Well, how are you doing that currently? How are you prioritizing your schedule? What would your schedule look like day to day if you were able to get everything in that you want to get in? Because I know you said that you have
Mm,
your sports prioritized for your scholarship, so that obviously is important. But
mm.
you said your classes are important too, and you want to prioritize those. So I guess what I'm asking is, have you tried to do anything with that yet? Like prioritizing your schoolwork, or are you finding it hard, like there's not enough hours in the day, or you don't have enough energy? Like what's going on in that aspect? Help me understand that.
Um, I feel like I'm definitely like a first come, first serve kind of person. Like whatever I'm doing in the day is where my attention is, and it's my priority. And then it just like that's why I said like in class when I'm there in class, it's I'm present, like I'm paying attention, I'm taking notes, I'm doing what I need to do. Uh, but it's just like once I get through everything in the day, because like I was saying, I have morning lifting and I have to eat and I have to go to classes and then I have to show face at my fraternity and I'll have practice and all this. So it's like I have 20 things that I have to do before I ever have time to even think about studying or homework or anything like that. So it's like it's kind of like the fact that it's the last thing in the day, because maybe if it was earlier in the day, maybe if I had like that opportunity um earlier in the day, then that would take the priority. But it's just like the fact that it's the last thing in the day really makes it tough to give my full um attention to, my full commitment to. Um, so I guess that's really like the hard part of it all.
So you're saying at the end of the day, you don't always have the energy or the motivation to like start working on homework or studying?
Mm-hmm.
Is that
Mm-hmm.
okay? Well, that's
Yeah, because
going
it's
through
like
an entire. Sorry,
we
you go
get up
ahead.
early and we lift, and it's like by the time by the time I'm like done with everything, I've been up for probably close to like 15 hours. And then trying to stay on top of your sleep, because that's just important as anything else. It's it's tough. I mean, it's feasible or not feasible. It's I don't know.
It sounds like it's not feasible.
Yeah,
Hmm.
but
Well, yeah, so it sounds like it's not feasible, and sounds like you're struggling with, sounds like two things, because you told me you're getting into your core classes. Sounds like they're a
mm-hmm.
little more heavy material. You have to actually study. So you want to prioritize the studying. It sounds like you just need to find that time or that motivation. Which, or would you say it's a little bit of both, time and motivation, or everything wrapped all in one?
it would be like I wouldn't see. It's like I was saying earlier. It's not like I guess in the very beginning I said it was motivation, but um, like I was saying, if it was in the beginning of the day, then I would be able to do it no problem. But it's like the fact that it's last in line as far as everything goes, that it's tough to do because I don't always have like time for it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Maybe you want a little bit more awake, fresh brain to do the studying or the stuff for your classes. Does that sound maybe a little better?
Yeah, because it's like, how much am I actually going to retain when I'm already like, all I can think about is going to bed or, just relaxing for 5 minutes. It's like, it's, yeah, it's hard to like get my full focus on at the end of the day. And like I said, like, I'm thinking about going to bed. I'm thinking about how tired I am. I'm not thinking about, um, like Freudian theory or anything like that, or Maslow's hierarchy and need. Like it's not what I'm thinking of at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm. So would you say that's kind of like your main thing that you are looking to work on would be to prioritize your studies? Or are you thinking, correct me if I'm wrong, so is that something that you want to work on is making sure you're prioritizing your studies over other things? Or do you want to keep everything how they are? Like, talk to me about that because,
Well,
your sports and your fraternity, it sounds like are a priority as well. So, I guess what I'm asking you is, are you worried that your school is not a priority anymore? Are you struggling with that? Or tell me more about that real quick.
yeah, it. I feel like I feel like it is a. I feel like school is a priority. It definitely needs to be a priority because like that's what I'm here for ultimately, right? I'm here for an education and to better myself. I'm not here for um like I'm not going to be a professional athlete one day. So I mean, I'm not here for that necessarily, but I am at the same time because it's like I have to keep up with that stuff in order to, maintain my scholarship and make sure I'm able to afford school. But the fraternity, I guess I'm not really here for that either, but in a sense like I am because you want to be able to make those connections and you know find people who are going to be those long term solid friends and um, I know like getting being in a fraternity gets that bad rep, but like at the end of the day, there are a lot of positives if I'm able to get stay in the fraternity for all of college. Like there's a lot of things that I do get out of it, like those deeper connections with people, having people that I can rely on and um having a network out in the real world, I guess, like of people like that hold jobs. Like one of our fraternity members he's the senator right now. uh and then like another one, he works for the Monster Energy company. So it's like I do get a lot of things out of that because there's you know uh, possibilities for me to network and find people that might be able to help me get jobs or connect me with certain things. So I mean, even though like it's tough because even though I'm here and I'm at school, like I know I need to graduate, I know I need to be able to get my work done and do all that stuff, but it's like there's more to it than that. Like it's deeper than that. It's not as like shallow. Um, so I know something's got to give, and I I'm just not 100% sure what yet, and that's that's kind of the tough decision. Um, of everything is like figuring out what has to give. Because I mean, really, if I had to make like a pyramid, like school is the top priority because that's what I'm here for. I have to graduate. Like I have to be able to better my life, and then just the other things after that. Sorry if I was rambling, but
No, 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 you're good. Actually, just to make sure that I'm understanding, because it sounds like you might have to, in order to prioritize school, like as you said on the top of your pyramid, you might have to move other things or lessen other things. And that what I'm hearing is there's like a conflict with that because it doesn't necessarily sound like you want to lessen those things in order to have more time for school.
mm,
And that's, if I had to say, that's maybe why it's sounding hard to do the school or get into it, is because you do like all these other things that you're doing. So correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what it sounds like, is you might have to lessen some of these other activities that you're doing in order to get school back up there, and learn how to get, better in your studies. As you said, you have to
mm.
spend a little more time on it. You might have to lessen some of these other things. And that's what I'm hearing, is that sounds like a conflict for you currently. Because
Yeah, it def-
you do enjoy these other things. So with that being said, correct me if I'm wrong. Does that sound like what I'm saying is kind of what you're feeling, or?
yeah, I would say that's like almost exactly how I'm feeling. Like there's just so many things, and I know what I need to be prioritizing, but it's just like tough to figure out what's what you know needs to go because like I was saying earlier, like my sport, I get scholarships from that, so I need that in order to be able to go to school and afford school and make it as cheap as I can. But um, on the flip side of things, like it can't really be like my brothers in the fraternity because like I don't want to let them down either, and like I don't want them to feel like I'm not an active member, um, and that I'm just like coasting by in there. So it, it's tough. It's tough figuring that out, and I might just have to have like some tough conversations and be like, "Hey, I can't be here as much as I would like to be, and I hope you understand that. But it's like I need to be able to do this so I can do this and this and this, and you know, some things I just won't be able to spend as much time on.
Mm-hmm. Because, at the end of the day, there's just so many hours in a day, hours that you can
Mm-hmm.
be healthy and be awake, is what I always say.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's something that you want to work on, we can definitely figure out those things and talk more about them, figure out something that you're comfortable with, and just like everything that comes along with that. In future sessions, if that's something that you're open to, we can definitely work on that. With that being said, it is about time to start wrapping up. So, what I want to say is, I really appreciate you coming in and taking time to be with me today. With all everything that we talked about, I got a clear picture about what you're going through, and we're definitely going to talk more about it if you're okay with that in the future. And, you know, with everything being said, with all that, before we wrap up today, is there anything else that you'd like to share with me or talk to me about or let me know?
No, I think I'm good. I think we got down to the gist of things, and I feel like you do have like a clear picture of what's going on and all that stuff. So I think I'm good.
Okay, all right. Well, hang in there. I look forward to seeing you again. We will get that scheduled, and yeah, I look forward to seeing you again. Thank you for showing up today. That really did take a lot. All right.
All right, thank you. Have a nice rest of your day.
All right, you too. Bye bye.